cutting through the hype, what do you think reasonable expectations are for Trey Lance in his sort of red shirt freshman season in the NFL? What are you expecting?
Oh, I mean, let me take this one on because this is a tough question because I think expectations are. Let me put it this way: football is the ultimate team sport, right? So I think a lot of fans, on one hand, there's kind of two sides. On one hand, you have the fan base who's saying that, of course he's going to be better than Jimmy G at the very least, right? He should at least be better than that, even if he's not this amazing quarterback. Jimmy G was just super limiting, right? So Trey Lance should be able to step in there and we should be more dynamic in the run game, like just as a default with his abilities athletically and what he can do. We should be a better team. But then there's other fans who say, it's his second year. You can't just have Patrick Mahomes expectations. You got to be realistic. This is this is the first time for him. He's coming from North Dakota State. He has no reps in the there's all those kind of, I don't want to say excuses, but just those realities of the situation. And, those fans who are kind of a lot more grounded. I'm somewhere in the middle where I think that Trey Lance can have even a better year than if you just want to compare last year of Jimmy G. I think Trey Lance can have a better year than that. But does that mean it's going to result in the same success? That's hard to say because it's a team sport and you never know. Like, I think the bar is almost set at NFC Championship game because the last two healthy seasons of Jimmy G, that's what we've done. But is that really fair to expect that we're just going to be in the NFC Championship game? Like, no, thing is, there's plenty of situations, whether it's a Josh Allen last year in the AFC Championship game or other examples where even if you have great quarterback play, or if you're a great quarterback, it doesn't mean you're going to advance as a team.
Okay. Hey, let me ask you this. Like, so if we, I mean, there will be injuries, things like that. But if, there's no catastrophic injuries like 2020, with the team that we have now, everybody talks about how deep we are and how talented this team is at every position. What is your expectations for Trey to lead this team with the team that we have that is so deep?
Man, I would say I do expect playoffs, especially because there's an extra team in the playoffs now. And, I feel like the NFC, when you compare the NFC and the AFC is on paper a lot stronger, right? So I do have an expectation of playoffs, but I want to leave it at that. Once you get into the playoffs, anything could happen, as we've even seen from our team, special team plays, clock management situations at Dallas. The playoffs are crazy, right? So anything could happen, but I'm expecting we should be able to get to the playoffs with this roster, with this team. That's what my expectation is. So it's not even, for me, to Grant's original question, to me, it's not even expectations in terms of like, what are his stats going to look like? I just hope that, and I'm expecting that, not hoping, expecting that we will be able to make the playoffs with Trey Lance at the helm as our leader, as our quarterback. That's what my expectation is. Like, and however that happens, I feel like that's the check mark number one that I'll be good with.
What do you think, Jeff?
I think that with the team that we have, and like I said, barring anything crazy happening, you would think that, okay, what did Jimmy G do last year? He wasn't terrible. He did lead us. What do y'all think about like Richard Sherman? How he talks so highly of Jimmy G and how he kind of Sherman always basically kind of warns the fans like, all right, like
Richard Sherman, the whole team is like that, man. Like the whole team.
No. But I'm saying like Richard Sherman be also saying like, all right, you fans, like you guys are ready to kick him out the door and act like he's not done anything, and like get into these spots. Like he's had to lead. He's had to basically do things to get you guys to the spot, even though like we know in the playoffs and what have you, we know that he's not, it's not like we're relying on Jimmy's arm like Allen or Mahomes like that. But Sherman be making it seem like, all right, like be careful what you ask for.
Well,
like,
yeah, I mean, and also his context, because he wouldn't even really have the same energy towards Russell Wilson, it seems like, who's clearly, right, to us a better quarterback. But maybe that has to do with the contentious way that he left. But I mean, he left us in a I don't want to say a similar way, because it definitely wasn't that, but he still left us. He's not on our team, so he doesn't really have obligation to say anything positive about Jimmy. I don't know. It's interesting, and it's not just Sherman; it's a lot of guys, but specifically on Sherman, I'm not gonna, live this year or go through this year having a fear of, oh man, we're missing out on Jimmy. It's all about Trey. I don't even care. Like, whatever, Trey can put all that to rest with a good season that shows promise. So I don't really concern myself with what Jimmy would have been, because at the very least, even if you think Jimmy was a really good player, if you're a Jimmy Stan, quote unquote, as they call him, and you wish that Jimmy was leading our team this year and beyond, then one thing that you have to at least say about Jimmy is that at the very least, he has issues with injuries and issues with staying healthy. And I guess arguably you could say the same thing with Trey, because we're hearing about this finger issue and, all those sort of things. But I don't know. I feel like it's time, like I said earlier, Kyle Shanahan probably at this point is looking to do, some new things with our offense. It's a breath of fresh air to have a new quarterback under center. I think that's going to open up things. Maybe we'll see a lot more rollouts, a lot more passes to the outside, deep passes with guys like Danny Gray. So I think there should be a whole kind of reset with our offense and with our team. And, I think hopefully that's what we need.
For sure.
I didn't hear either one of you guys answer the question. So I'm going to answer the question.
Go ahead, yeah.
I'm going to answer the question. I feel like a lot of people are afraid to just say what they think Trey's going to do this year. I'm going to tell you what I think. I think he's going to be more efficient than people think. I think he's going to put up better numbers than Jimmy did last year. I think people are being a little too nervous right now. He's really talented. He has a really good team around him and a really good scheme. I think his completion percentage is going to be around 70. I think his quarterback rating is going to be above 100. And not because he's great. He's in a great situation. He's got a terrific team around him. He's replacing the most overrated quarterback in sports. I mean, the bar is a lot lower than I think people want to admit. All he has to do is be better than Jimmy. He's going to be a lot better than Jimmy. I think he's going to put up nice numbers. Doesn't mean he's going to be a Pro Bowler, although he might. Doesn't mean he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I just think he's in a really good situation. Now, my question with him is, can he stay healthy? Because this offensive line is like just one big question mark outside of the left tackle. And like he got hurt twice last year. So he could be really tearing it up a la Kyler Murray and then get hurt. And then you're in Nate Sudfeld territory. So that's really my concern with Lance. I feel like he's got as good of a supporting cast as not often, like just in terms of weapons as maybe any quarterback in the league.
Say with your chest. No, I hear you.
I Grant, I want to ask you about the Sherman. Like, what do you think about like the way Sherman talks about Jimmy and the fans being kind of disrespectful towards him? Like, what do you think about that?
I mean, I think Sherman. I mean, you can hear Trent Williams say the same stuff. Vets respect Jimmy Garoppolo. He's a good teammate. He's a pro, and they won with him. So when he defends Jimmy, he's kind of defending that 2019 team. He doesn't know Trey Lance. He's never played with Trey Lance. I bet if he was on this team with Trey Lance, he'd be pumping up Trey Lance. I bet he would.
That's a good point.
So, him being a good teammate, maybe.
That's a good point.
I mean, I know he's a teammate, but like it's just the way he says it. He says it very emphatically, like, all right, like better, So it's and like,
but he also undercuts Russell Wilson left and right. So I mean, how good of a quarterback judge is Richard Sherman really? I remember when Richard Sherman was on the Niners. We went up to talk to him in the locker room, and it was like right before they played the Bucs week 1. And he was like, "Man, watch what Bruce Arians does with Jameis Winston. It's going to be Ben Roethlisberger. Watch." Like, okay, Richard. Sometimes cornerbacks aren't the greatest judge of quarterbacks. Sometimes other quarterbacks aren't the greatest. Just because you can play doesn't mean that. I don't know.
That's facts. That's facts. But he's a.
But there's a lot of people that feel that way about him in that locker room, unconditionally. Yeah. Mike got the gun. Says, where would you rate Jimmy and Trey on a 1 to 10 last year, and where do you rank Trey now? Like, do you think Verrett will get the nod for nickel? Let's see Verrett suit up first. But I mean, he's got a ways to go. He may be back mid-season, but with Jimmy to me is like a 7 as a quarterback, and I feel like Trey was an 8 last year, and I think he's going to probably come out looking like a 9 this year because of his supporting cast. Well, he's probably still an 8 as of now. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, way too early to tell about the nickel.
Yeah, way too early.